A little bit of background about what FIRST is.
My name is Scott Cowley. I'm with Zag and live in Salt Lake. And I came to WebVisions to talk about the trends we see in the web becoming more visual. So if you look over the past few years, even months, we see all sorts of major social platforms becoming more visual in nature. Google+, Facebook changing its whole layout to accommodate a more visual component, and then Pinterest obviously being huge. So came to see where we're going and how that's really impacting marketing strategy today. Well, you look at the fact that, in terms of social networking, so much of it was text-based, and blogging is still around, but even then you see lots of blogs that are incorporating a lot more visual components, creating their own custom images for individual blog posts. And that's kind of what we have to recognize, is the fact that people are spending much more time on visual sites like Pinterest, much more time looking at ways to visually represent themselves in what they share and what they post. And so we have to follow that trend in order to stay relevant. Well, I think the amazing thing is that even now, with so much time being spent on sites like Pinterest, you maybe only have 2% of the web that's actually creating content themselves. So I think just by virtue of the fact that you're putting resources into creating and designing your own stuff to share sets you apart from nearly everybody else. And then I think it really becomes about turning that design into quality, refining the process of creating, but then figuring out the best ways to optimize that content for the different platforms. So for example, on Pinterest, making sure that it's descriptive, that you're putting it out at the right times of day when people are actually going to be on the platform. Whereas for other sites like Google+ or Facebook, you may do things very differently, depending upon what you're trying to promote and what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to send visitors back to your website to look at your other products, or whether you're actually trying to sell that specific product that you're pinning or putting out on these visual networks. More than anything, it's about the preparation leading up to pressing publish. Publish is the easy part. The stuff that comes after that, I think, is relatively easy compared to the legwork that you have to do beforehand. Especially when you're talking about visual content, a lot of times companies or individuals don't have a big enough audience themselves, and if they want to get exposure for the visual stuff they're creating, they have to find someone else, another website or another publisher with a much broader audience that would like to accept their content on an exclusive basis to put it out there. So a lot of what we do at Zag is saying, okay, what other sites out there, often tech sites, are posting content like ours to their audiences that we can talk to ahead of time in order to get traction. We decide to push it out. It's going to be out not just in our home, but in a lot of other places as well. I think the biggest thing that companies do wrong is they put too much focus on themselves and their own products and services. In my session, I talked about how a lot of successful content marketing from a company standpoint deals with stuff that may be less relevant to our company as a whole. I could spend all day pitching my products, or I could engage a lot more people by talking about tech in general and bringing exposure to tech and the coolest things that are happening that are related to my products and services, but aren't just rehashing the same stuff that I've been pushing on everybody.